What up, witches? Now, if you're like me, you have been consuming every single theory, every single piece, every single recap of Agatha all along that's come across your FYP page. I myself am strange and unusual. If you know, you know. And I've done my own deep dives. I've looked up characters. I've looked up the Wiccan religion. I've looked up tarot cards. I rewatched all of WandaVision in one afternoon just to see if there were any things that I missed that would give me insight into Agatha all along. So needless to say, I went down, down, down the hole, down the rabbit hole. The only thing that I haven't looked up and I haven't looked at is probably the most obvious thing that I should have looked at to start. The Ballad of the Witch's Road. Let me pull up the lyrics quick. Voila! The lyrics to the sacred chant version of the Ballad of the Witch's Road, not to be confused with Lorna Woo's version, which there is one line I'm going to get into that song. So, obviously the first line's cut out. I'm sorry, I did the best I could. However, we all know the first line. Seekest thou the road to all that's foul and fair. Foul and fair obviously being a reference to Shakespeare's Macbeth, one of his great tragedies, and honestly, probably one of my top 3 Shakespearean plays ever. And yes, there are witches in it. 3, to be exact. 3. I'll come back to that later. But needless to say, it's a reference to Macbeth. Next line goes, gather sisters fire, water, earth, and air. Agatha did that. Agatha gathered fire, which is Alice, water, which is Jennifer, earth, which is, well, she gathered our poor Mrs. Hart, R.I.P. Mrs. Hart, but now it's Rio, and air would be Lilia. Darkest hour, wake thy power. I think that Agatha's going to have to hit absolute rock bottom in order to wake up her power, because we see the character arc happening. We see her becoming more empathetic and sympathetic toward Teen. We see her giving pep talks to Alice and to Jennifer during their trials. She's becoming more of a team player. So I think she has to hit absolute rock bottom before her powers come back. Next, earthly and divine. I am under the full assumption that Agatha is the 5th element, which is spirit, because the 5 elements are spirit, air, water, fire, and earth. So, we have 4 of the other witches. Agatha represents the spirit. And if you want more on that, I just made a video. It's pinned on my page. So, earthly and divine. So, it's between earth and divine. So, somewhere in between there is spirit. So, she will get her powers back when she's at her lowest. Burn and brew with coven true, and glory shall be thine. Agatha is obviously a loner, and she doesn't trust anybody. Well, considering the confession Rio made in episode 4, I really don't blame her. But she does, and also what her coven and her own mother did to her. But needless to say, if she is true to her coven, and she does not sell them out, she will get her glory. So then we get the chorus, down, down, down the road, down the way. Okay, we understand. It's been in all our heads. Circle sown with fate, unlock thy hidden gate. Hold up. Okay, remember how I said the 5 elements, spirit, air, water, earth, and fire? Look at the symbol above spirit. It's a circle. Obviously, they could be talking about the circle that they made when they opened the gate. However, they needed Agatha to do it because she is the spirit element, or the spirit witch. Next, we have the second verse where it says, marching ever forward, neath the wooded shrine. Now, if you remember, in the last episode, Alice is absolutely not having it and does not want to go into this house. So she turns around to go back, and the house is still there. You have to keep marching forward. You cannot decide you're changing your mind and you're heading back. So, and the wooded shrine is the forest. Obviously, that's talking about the physical, legitimate road. I stray not from the path, I hold death's hand in mine. Could they have made it any more blatant that this was about Agatha hold Death's hand in mine. Her and Rio are exes. Rio's Lady Death. Sorry if you didn't know that, but thank you, Funko, for letting me know that. Anyway, so she literally held Death's hand in hers. So I see this as more clues that this is legitimately written for Agatha. And I know it's centuries old, but for the show purposes, the reason that this song is used is because it's telling us what's happening. So I hold Death's hand in mind. She was with Rio. Gotcha. Primal Night. Primal means original. The original, the first. So the first night or the original night. So maybe we're going to flash back to Agatha's original walk down the road, because that is a mystery right now. Because she seems not to kind of get it. Like, she seems sometimes surprised by the Witch's Road, although she traveled down it once before. So I think we're going to get that look back into the Primal Night. Or maybe that'll be her trial where she goes back to that original night. Giveth sight, familiar by my side. The familiar in this case is the teen, because when she's with Lilia, she says, oh, this is my pet. Her pet is her familiar. Well, her rabbit's her familiar, but he's not on the road. Teen is, and she considers him her sidekick, her pet. So that means familiar by her side. If sun be gone, we carry on. Now, I understand. That's if one be gone, we carry on. I got you. We carry on spirit as our guide. Spirit. It all comes back to Agatha being the element of spirit. Now, here is what I find the most interesting lyrics. Again, we get the chorus. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. You get it. Just hum it along with me. Blood and tears and bone, maiden, mother, crone. Obviously, we've seen the maiden, mother, and crone before. It's on Agatha's necklace / locket. There's the maiden, there's the mother, and there's the crone. However, I believe we've seen it much more in-depthly than that in these three witches, because I believe that these are the three witches that are going to survive the Witch's Road. You have the maiden, which is Lady Death, who has shed blood. And then you have the mother, which is Agatha, because she obviously misses her son, and she's shed tears over her son. And then we have Lilia. And I've said before, I think she is an extremely powerful witch. And her mentioning a vampire to me makes me think that she's immortal. That, among other reasons. If you want to go back to the video, it's pinned on my page. You can see my whole theory on that. However, that means she's shed bone to be there. So, maiden, mother, crone. That's the connection there. Okay, let's go back to lyrics. Third verse starts out, the road is wild and wicked, winding through the wood, where all that's wrong is right and all that's bad is good. So we see all these trials as bad. However, in both of these trials, after they've triumphed, they've had good happen. Alice has just shed her generational curse that took her mother and her grandmother. Jennifer now has this self-assurance that she can do her own spells regardless of what magic she has. So it's actually talking about the winding road and wild and wicked witches. Thought that was a cute nod to the Wizard of Oz. So all that's fair, all that's wrong is right, and all that's bad is good. Through many miles of tricks and trials, telling you they're going to go through the trials, will wander high and low. I'm going with there are very high emotions and there are very low emotions during this walk down the Witch's Road. There's excitement, there's happiness, there's joy after finishing a trial, there's sadness, there's self-realization. There's a lot of highs and lows there. Tame your fears, a door appears, the time has come to go. Every time a door is popped out, whether it be the oven or the piano. And again, we have the chorus, and the last words are, follow me, my friend, to glory at the end. So I think Agatha has to actually let these people in and become friends with them if she is to succeed. Also, for Lorna Wu's version, it says, I'll see you at the end. Does that mean Alice isn't making it and her mother is going to meet her in the afterlife? So that's just my analysis of the lyrics of the Ballad of the Witch's Road, the Sacred Chant version. Thank you for coming down the rabbit hole with me. And if you like, hit the like button. Agree, disagree, or have anything to add? Hit that comment button. And as always, follow me for more Agatha All Along content. Later, witches.